Which farmer is going to wait for 7 years before they earn anything?
In this country.
Because they want to change the ecosystem
with the school. Because you want to make Kenya more competitive than Uganda.
We got to look at what we are competitive in.
So the taxes that have been proposed now in the current bill, how likely are they to further impact the manufacturing sector?
We're very, very clear, and in our initial statement, and that bill is very, very complex. If you've looked at the bill, it's extremely complex. If you're not a tax expert, you're not a lawyer, you wouldn't understand anything in that bill. Other than the simple things people are talking about, the motor vehicle, Because you see this bill, the way it's crafted, they say, this article amends an article in another law that amends another one in another law. So you have to have about 3 of them.
All the laws there to see what's going on.
And it's very deliberate. It's not science. It's very deliberate. And that's why you get to Parliament. People have not seen it. Have not say, how did you pass ETIMS? And I know you guys talked about ETIMS.
Yeah.
Inordinate, unintended consequences to small farmers. Anyhow, so we've looked at the basic one, the IDF.
Import declaration.
That's import declaration fee. The wisdom of even the previous government was, because and I know you don't want to go back to previous government because people get sensitive. The wisdom was differentiate IDF for raw materials, because you want to bring raw materials at competitive rate, and finished goods. But 2023 they bundled them together, the same. Import is import.
It's import.
Now what they've done is to move it from 2.5% to 3%. Again, makes us uncompetitive. Again, it's our neighbors. Our neighbors don't have IDF, they don't have RDL.
Wow.
So in some of this grade, if you do computation, you put import duty, export levy,
railway development,
RDL, IDF, and others, you find that in some products, and we are competing within EAC, we are at 42%, everyone else is at 3, 4, 5%. So then you ask yourself, how are we losing? But
then, Anthony, as we conclude, you have sat, and you've told us, you've sat in a team organized by the Ministry of Industry. To look at what needs to be done to help this sector grow, and look at it from taxation, from regulatory framework. What do you need in terms of access to capital, cost of capital, all those things, so that you can take them to cabinet, and then cabinet will look at them and also influence what happens with this kind of bill. So, where is the breakdown in the chain?
It's actually a puzzle.
What happened? You presented this. This is government saying, "Come, let's work together so we do this," and then you see this. So how?
It's actually a puzzle because I've seen some of the proposals. So the budget process is very elaborate. So we call our members over a period of about 3 months. What do you think how we can grow this sector? How we can grow this sector? And then we go with these proposals to the Ministry of Industry. We sit down, we argue, we come to a position. Once we come to a position, we go to the National Treasury. Again, together. Remember, this time you're going together with the Ministry of Industry. Because you're tied at the hip. We go to the National Treasury and say, look, National Treasury, this is how you're going to generate revenue. Once we align, the document then is transmitted to Parliament. But there's a few iterations there. Because remember, National Treasury is not a legal arm. So it has to go through the state law, government printer. By the time it gets out of the pipeline to go to Parliament for it to be a bill, it's a different document.
So the mongrel that comes out is not the mongrel that left the Treasury?
No. And this is where the puzzle is. Now, the challenge is this. I'll give you an example.
In about 30 seconds.
Diapers, we used to import all the diapers and sanitary wear. Pre-2015. Now we have created a local capacity. And we went and said, government, we want to show you where we can get 3 billion shillings from this sector. Instead of exempt status, put 3% VAT. Now what they did is say, oh my goodness, let's put eco levy on this. Now we go back to where we are, because now people can import diapers from Egypt cheaper. It's underwhelming.
Goodness.
But what you agree at the ministry, what goes to the Treasury, and you agree, and what ends up being published as a bill,
different.
They keep iterating.
It's what Koreans will say kisera sera.
Anthony Mwangi, CEO of Kenya Association.